Onions are the only agricultural product it's illegal to trade futures in. Yes, onions. And if you have no idea what that means or why onions, we're going to tell you.
Let's dig into this.
So let's start with trading futures. In a nutshell, it's a financial contract that allows a buyer to purchase something in the future at the price set today. Kind of like signing a contract to buy a refrigerator now at today's price, but not picking it up until later. What you hope is the price will go up and you end up with a really good deal. And with futures, you can complete your purchase at the lower price and sell the same thing at the higher price. Sounds great, but it's a gamble. Prices don't always go up, and it's complicated. There are people who short sell, which is when someone sells borrowed futures, hoping when it comes time to close the trade, the price has gone down.
While all that may make your head spin, the crucial thing about the futures market for farmers is it can be used to predict how much of your crops could sell for, and whether you should plant more or less of product, unless you grow onions.
But before we get to that, we need to meet Vincent Kasuga and Sam Siegel. Kasuga was a farmer in Pine Island, New York, growing lettuce, onions, and celery, and trying to make it big in the stock market, trading wheat futures. After nearly bankrupting his family, his wife insisted he stick to farming full-time. Instead, he began spending a lot of time in Chicago and was a registered floor broker of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
Sam Siegel was Kosuga's partner in Chicago, and there's not a whole lot of information about him. He was the president of National Produce Distributors Incorporated, a produce distribution company in Franklin Park, Illinois, used during the pair's onion trading venture. He was also vice president of Dakota Chief Sales, which owned and operated a cold storage warehouse facility, and he was a registered member of the Future Sales Merchant on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange.
In 1955, onions became the highest traded commodity on the Chicago Mercantile. An estimated 20% of all trades made were in onions. Vincent Kasuga and Sam Siegel noticed, and they were quick to try and take advantage. They bought all the onions they could find and all the onion futures they could get, and ended up controlling 98% of the onions in Chicago. At the end of 1955, they owned over 30 million pounds of onions. They had cornered the onion market.
The next step of the plan was to short sell onion futures. Siegel and Kasuga didn't need to bet on the price of onions coming down because they owned the availability of onions. So they could sell their onions and flood the market, driving prices into the basement. And they did. And when the stockpile of onions started to spoil, they sent them for reconditioning, cleaning and repackaging the product, and having them shipped back to storage. The shipments were mistaken for new onions coming in by folks, making them think even more onions were flooding the already flooded market, and prices dropped even more. And Siegel and Kasuga were making millions short-selling onion futures.
What the men didn't seem to consider was the fact that the bizarre overabundance of onions in Chicago meant a shortage everywhere else. Red flag number one. Plus, onion prices had dropped from over $2.75 for a 50-pound bag in August of 1955 to just 10 cents a bag in March of 1956. It's said that at one point, onions were selling in Chicago for less than the price of the bag that held them, and onion farmers were quickly going bankrupt. Red flag number two.
The Commodity Exchange Authority, then the regulatory agency of the Department of Agriculture, started an investigation, and soon the U.S. Senate and the House Committees on Agriculture held hearings on the strange onion problems in Chicago, and questioned Vincent Kasuga, who reportedly said, "If it's against the law to make money, then I'm guilty." It is estimated that the two men had pocketed as much as $8.5 million by that time. A little less than $100 million in today's dollars.
Under investigation, both Siegel and Kasuga admitted much of what they had done, but they claimed that they'd been trying to stabilize the price of onions, not manipulate it to make millions. Testimony by growers and shippers they had dealt with supported this claim, making it hard to prove their intent was different. The only consequences of their actions that could be supported by evidence resulted in a citation and the suspension from trading for a period of 10 months.
Congressman Gerald Ford of Michigan Later, the 38th President of the United States sponsored a bill known as the Onion Futures Act, making it illegal to trade in onion futures when signed into law in 1958. It is still the only commodity you can't trade to this day.
What happened to Vincent Kasuga and Siegel? No one seems to know about Siegel, but Kasuga moved back to New York and opened a restaurant called the Jolly Onion Inn. He was the chef and known around town as the Onion King, and he was later named the Pine Island, New York Citizen of the Year by the local Chamber of Commerce for his philanthropy. No mention was made of how he made all that money, though.
Thanks for watching.
And a big shout out to Super Viewer Matt. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We'll see you on the next one.
Hey, here's another Dragonden video you might like.
And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
And you can hit the notification bell if you'd like to know when our videos come out.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.